Hi, everyone. This is Michael Connon representing the TooMedToo's Star Wars Network. We've got your fix. And this is episode number 56 of the Bacta Tank. And tonight we have, I consider a special guest, someone that I've known through podcasting and Twitter. And we're basically neighbors. We just live, short ways away from each other. We have Pete Feltzer from Around the Galaxy.
Hello. How are you? Good to see you, Mike.
I am doing well. Thank you for joining me.
The pleasure is all mine. It's great because I've got so much pent up energy around this whole May the 4th thing tomorrow. So getting to be able to talk to you about it is pretty exciting to do.
Yeah, well, it was funny. I had messaged you, and I hadn't talked to you in a while. And you responded that you haven't been around that much, kind of apologizing to me. And it was kind of like, well, I haven't been around either because I'm back to work now. I'm just kind of taking a step back, and I'm streaming on somewhere else other than YouTube. I'm on an app called Live It, which is doing pretty well for me.
Cool.
And but it was, I kind of go in little spurts. I went for a year and a half or 2 years, and I recorded so much, and then I took about 6 months off, and now the pandemic recorded every day for however long it was, and now just trying to get took a step back and now getting back into it. So I figured who better to start off with than Pete.
Wow, I appreciate it, man, and I'm excited to and honored to be on the show. It's been like I said in the tweet today, it's been sort of a long time coming. Like you said, we've kind of talked and gotten to know each other over the social media channels for a while. So this is great.
Now, the one thing I was thinking about the other day too, and it was actually when I messaged you on Twitter, I saw about it. You wrote a little fan fiction.
I did
a little while back.
Yeah, so about 2 years, and that's actually one of the things that kind of pulled me back into this whole, into this side of the world. So for about 2 years ago, I released a fan fiction novelization of The Phantom Menace, ironically called Duel of the Fates, before that whole second script thing came out from the Terrio script or whatever. And so I wrote it because I was, I had always been a firm believer that The Phantom Menace was, and this was actually before I really started over the last few years, really become super active in the fandom and getting to know all the different points of view. But to me, Phantom Menace was always the movie version of a good book that didn't quite hit quite right. So for some reason, I invested many, many months in writing a 123,000 word 500-page fan fiction novelization that kind of tells the story. I tell it more as a political intrigue thriller versus sort of a summer blockbuster. And I wrote it as if, sort of like the way George R.R. Martin's Game of Thrones and the HBO Game of Thrones. You don't get all the story, but you get it in the book. And so I included, there's a lot of like Sifo-Dyas stuff in there. There's some backstory and just, I kind of used what we know as today's canon 2 years ago as the basis, more so than just sort of writing a novelization of the script.
So I will. As soon as we get the audio version, I'll be reading that.
It's funny you say that. I actually have just started talking to somebody who I've recorded things with in the past about. I gotta say, I tried to do an audiobook version myself so many times and realized I can speak freely here and I can speak freely in my podcast, but man, trying to read a book, first of all, you need that certain pacing, right? Mark Thompson, of course, has that perfectly down pat because it's his job, but that ability to do the pacing and to have just enough character differentiation without doing impressions and that sort of thing. So, but I am working on it. I just started having a conversation literally just yesterday with a friend of mine who sent me a sample of what he wants to do, and I was like, yes, let's do this. So it will be coming. So I'm glad you brought it up.
Oh, we got a few people in the chat that are happy to see you here.
Hey, yeah, DJ Red 4. Hey, what's up, Deej? And Mr. Rez is there. Cool. Yeah. Awesome.
Red 4 actually messaged me the other day and said, hey, I haven't seen you around in a while. That's the great thing about the community. It's like, hey, I haven't seen you around in a while. Just want to make sure everything's okay. I said,
yeah.
I'm going to be back on, and I'm going to have a special guest. Don't worry about that.
When the Star Wars community works, man, it's maybe the best thing out there, right? It's so great. And like you said, you and I are literally, probably a short drive from each other.
Mm-hmm.
We've never met yet in person. I'm sure we will someday. But these sort of relationships that you build in the Star Wars community are fantastic. And I've built some really great friendships over the last couple of years just through Twitter. It's wild.
Yeah, it's really good. Now tomorrow is May 4th, which I call it kind of like the St. Patrick's Day for Star Wars, because everybody tomorrow is May the 4th, and May the 4th be with you. Everybody's a Star Wars fan or a super fan, which is kind of another funny thing, because no matter who you ask, oh, are you a Star Wars fan? Oh, I love Star Wars. It's got that guy, right? That dark Vader. And it's like, but they tell you they're the biggest Star Wars fan in the world. But now everybody's a Star Wars fan tomorrow.
Yes.
Do you have any special plans?
Well, I will probably be setting my alarm clock for about 5 a.m. so that I can watch Bad Batch quietly before everybody else gets up and running. And then I was very fortunate to receive an invitation from Good Morning America to be part of their Zoom virtual audience tomorrow. So me and my kids are going to be sitting huddled around the computer and watching it there. And maybe they'll use my question for Dave Filoni that I submitted. But so that's the biggest part of my plans tomorrow. And then tomorrow night, I'm recording my show, and my patrons will have access for sort of a live event with my guest will be Jason Fry tomorrow night, which will be pretty cool. And then the podcast drops Wednesday. It feels like every day is podcast day in one way or another, though.
Yeah, it's kind of hard, whether it's podcasting or editing or it's very time consuming, which most people don't notice.
It's true. Yep.
My podcast version of the show is literally months behind. Someday you'll just see, all the Bacta tanks just one after another just start showing up there.
Right. I'm going to pick up my phone, and it's going to be say new episode.
Definitely. I'll probably watch it. I have to work at 6 tomorrow in the morning, so I'll watch it probably before I go to work.
You're gonna have to stay off Twitter so you don't get it spoiled.
I'll watch it before work, and then we have 11 o'clock. There's a Hasbro toy reveal.
That's right.
Show. So I'll be at work, but I'll be streaming that, watching that some way or another, or at least listening to it.
Right, sneaking the phone off to the side, like, no, I'm paying attention. I'm just checking messages.
Yeah, well, it's going to be kind of hard because I'm going to have my iPad and my phone, so that if there's anything I need to make sure I order right away, I can get in. Because by the time I get home, they're going to be all gone. So.
Oh man, I was going to order the brand new Lego R2D2, and it was like I was planning on it. I knew it was expensive, but I was like, I'm going to do it. And then I literally forgot that May 1st was on Saturday, and got busy with kids and soccer, and then came back. I was like, oh, I'll just order it now. Nope, it's gone. So I gotta wait on that. You're right. You have to jump on these things. It's almost it's frustrating because it seems like almost and I don't know if it's true or not, but you're hearing a lot of the sort of grumblings around Target employees kind of just taking the things out of the boxes and keeping them for themselves and selling them and things like that. It's frustrating for the community, but I guess you're gonna see that wherever you are, I guess.
And you've been kind of downsizing your collection lately.
I have. I like kind of woke up one day and looked at all the pops that I have, and I was just like, you know what, I'm right now. They've gotten to the point where, like, I mean, literally, as I'm sitting here in my little studio, like I have a wall here on the right side that is just full of boxed pops, and I have some of the ones that I really love out in my office. And those are the ones I'll probably keep. But yeah, I mean, it's just because I'm focusing more on, I don't know. I've accidentally gotten to the Black Series figures. I didn't want to, but you get one or two of those, and next thing you know, you're getting them. And but I've really I've kind of gone all in on the helmets. That's been kind of my my favorite thing to collect. And I think that goes back to, when I was a little kid, and I always wanted a Darth Vader helmet. Like ever since I can remember, because I was 7 years old when I saw Star Wars, and when the Black Series Vader helmet came out, I got that, and I was hooked on all those helmets. I'm not quite ready for a 501st kind of thing. I don't have the skills to build anything, but I think it's it's a different type of invest. And I actually have to say, like, the helmets are the things that when as you were saying, like the friends who are like, yeah, Darth Vader, he's awesome. When the friends see these sort of things, like, these are the things that are a little bit more appealing to a broader audience, whereas the pops they're just kind of fun and cute. And I love them, I really do. And if they don't sell, I'm not going to be disappointed. But yeah, I did get a little bit out of control. I was literally, bringing home, taking away from my kids' college fund $10 at a time.
Yeah, I still say I don't collect Funko Pops. I just buy all the new ones that come out. Well, it's Star Wars. It's Star Wars merchandise. It doesn't really. I don't collect Funko Pops because I'm not buying all other types of pops. I'm just buying Star Wars memorabilia. Some of it happens to be Funko Pops.
Yeah, you were really big into those. Do you still have way too many of them? Or have you slowed down?
No, I've got pretty much. I think I have everything that's come out since the Rise of Skywalker. No, not the Rise of Skywalker. The Last Jedi. There's a couple of the 10-inch or 12-inch ones that I didn't pick up.
Yeah.
I didn't get the New York Comic Con Boba Fett because I wasn't able to get that, and now it's $700 or $800. So that'll probably be one of those that never get bought. But I'm trying to downsize a little bit, but a lot of them, like, I don't know. I know that you're trying to get rid of some of yours, but a lot of them are only worth $5 or $8. So if you try and sell them, you're not going to make any money by the time you ship it.
Yep.
And you can if somebody wants it, they can buy it off of eBay for cheaper than like what you're going to ship it for. And to make a couple dollars. So I mean, it was one of my friends, her daughter or her son's birthday last week. I literally sent him 2 boxes full. I sent him, I think, like 10 or 12 Black Series and like 15 Funko Pops.
Yeah.
And I was like, and he just turned 7, and a lot of Mandalorians are there too. So, just trying to, if I can't make any money off of it, I might as well make somebody happy. So send in 100%. Somebody that,
And that's the funny thing with the Black Series too. Like I was pretty precious about the first couple Black Series figures I bought because they're $23 or whatever, and a little bit more in the Funko Pop, but I was very sort of conservative with them and keeping them in the box. And then my son, like, he broke through something with my 8-year-old son, and I finally was like, all right, here, you can have this. I don't even remember which one it was. And there's been a couple of them that I mean, he's now got like probably about 7 or 8 of them that I just was like, here, take it, go. And watching him play with it is much more valuable than, the 48 cents or $5 it'll make in a year or two from now. And the other thing too, is it kind of goes back to, I remember baseball cards. I don't know how old you are, Mike, but baseball cards back in the 80s had like this resurgence, and it was because, mom threw out my baseball cards when I was a kid, and that was the thing. And since everybody takes such good care of their stuff, the value is not going to go anywhere, even if there should be a resurgence in the market. So, as you said, watching my son play with it and get so much joy and just hours of fun creating a bizarre fight between Spider-Man and a Scout Trooper, that's much more valuable than I can get for it. So, and at the end of the day, toys are meant to be played with. And now that doesn't mean that I don't have a Boba Fett and a Jar Jar Binks and a couple that I'm just kind of keeping high up on a shelf so he doesn't see them and beg me to open. But they're for the most part, they're there to be played with, and I think that's awesome.
Well, it's very unorganized, but I'll give you this is so because of the other app I told you that I'm on.
Yeah.
I was able to, I'm doing well enough on it that my second bedroom is no longer a spare bedroom. It's turned into a huge office because 2 of my walls are just an entire green screen for when I do virtual reality gaming. But on my desk, we just have stuff piled up back there. Until someday we find homes for them all.
Yep. Yep.
And there's boxes behind me. That people joke around because they're like, oh, you don't even open them. And it's like, well, no, it's just, the case that came from Entertainment Earth. I got an 8-pack of them, and I pulled them out and then I shoved them back in there until some point in time when, I have storage or decide to sell them all and buy a vinyl Cape Jawa or something like that.
Yeah. Yep.
And,
Get the. And, that's the other thing too is I would rather, I think at this point, get, instead of buying $10 pops, buy one $200 thing that's a little bit more, a little bit cooler, a little bit. The other thing, I just started a project. I was one of my friends sent me as a gift. I think it's a 1980 Millennium Falcon, and Kenner set, the Millennium Falcon toy, and it needs work. But I think it'd be a fun project to work on, and it's not going to be cheap to get all the pieces for that, but that might be a little bit more fulfilling as well. So that should be fun.
I picked up a bunch of stuff to do on the other thing. I got a couple of I don't normally do Legos, but I got the Lego helmets. So I haven't jumped into the helmets like you or our buddy Andy. But I just have a bunch of stuff to do, and then I have some Star Wars origami books.
Cool.
Just to try and do a little bit of something every day in May, because I kind of think of May as Star Wars month.
Yes, I would agree with that. Yep.
Because whether it's May the 4th or Revenge of the 5th, or the movies come out on when the movies come out, so you're celebrating that. It just seems like that's just kind of the proper time to really celebrate it.
Yeah, it's funny you say the thing about Legos, because that's something that I've gotten into, because my son's really gotten into them as well. So something that we can kind of do together. And I did get one of the helmets. I got the probe droid, and haven't put them together yet, but I really want that R2. But the damn thing is they take up a lot more space than pops, so I don't know where I'm going to put them either.
Well, that's the weird thing about like the Black Series or Funkos or Legos. Even when they first come out, if they sell out right away, the price of it skyrockets.
Yep.
And then for a lot of them, the price drops back down to almost about what you would pay for it at regular retail. Yep. Or if you paid $12 or $15 for it, it might be $50 or $60 or $40, but then it drops back down to about 15 or 20.
Yeah.
But then slowly it starts to climb back up. Some of them, not all of them, of course. But that's where like I was saying, even just to something you're trying to get rid of, it's almost, unless you're strictly doing it as a full-time business, it's almost impossible to really make any substantial money to make it worth your while doing it.
And some of them surprise you. Like I sold, I had put a picture up on Twitter, and I got a couple of requests on a couple of the things that I had. And they said, "What do you want for it?" And I didn't know. It was, I can't think of any pops that I've bought other than retail. Like I haven't bought any to collect them and paid a premium price. So there was, there were one or two. I'd look them up on eBay and I'd be like, wow, these are going for $30 to $50. So I'm glad I didn't just sell it for, $10 plus shipping. So, I can't tell which ones are going to be the big ones or not. I mean, you can be pretty sure that the Orson Krennic is not going to be, a $50 pop anytime soon, but it's like a Sabine or something like that just kind of creeps up. So.
Yeah, it's weird. It's trying to figure out what's going to be, and it's like, you think that the exclusives from GameStop or one of the other stores is going to be, the big money one, but like we just had the 2 sets of, I can't think of whatever the Funko Pops were that came out. The concept.
Oh
yeah. Pops.
Yep.
And the first set that came out, 2 of them are worth some pretty good money, and the other 2 are just retail. And, it just depends. Like I'm looking at right now, the Boba Fett. I got the Boba Fett with the Star Wars Celebration sticker. So that's worth a little bit more than the other one. I've never been at one for when collecting and trying the stickers, except for Celebration Chicago, because that was my first celebration.
Yep.
I couldn't get them there, and I sent them away for the ones with the actual stickers on it. But then you find out that people just get the stickers made up and put them on the regular ones to charge crazy. So, it's
yeah. The world is not always full of, it's funny, like you said, the concept. So I got this Vader concept, and then I got the one from the GameStop had, and I thought they were the same exact one because the box was damaged on my first one. And it turns out that when I got this one, not too long ago, or Where is it? I can't get it to focus. But anyway, this one is a little bit different. And it turns out it was a different box and it was a different edition. And this one is probably where I didn't want to look it up because I didn't want to know it would depress me. Because I figured, I got one in a box. I'm fine. So even if the box is damaged, I'll just rip it open and put it on my desk. And well, but you know what? As we said, I love looking at it sitting here in my studio. So I'll keep it the way it is and not panic about it. So
yeah, the first concept one, the masks are a little different.
Yeah.
But it's just the one's a little bit more square, the other one's a little bit more of a triangle. But
yeah, yep, I see. Yep.
Yeah. So, all right. Anyways, we start talking about crazy Funko Pops and
sucks the life out of you.
Not enough of you. How did you get your start in the fandom? Were you born into Star Wars as that was your thing, or?
Yeah, so I was 7 years old when Star Wars came out, and so I saw it when I was a 7-year-old kid, and it's funny. I just finally, for the first time in over a year, got to see my son's godfather over the weekend, and he and I grew up together. We were talking about how like Star Wars was really like that meant it was like a little private club, back before the internet. You felt like Star Wars was kind of like your thing with you and your friends. Like you were the only 7 people in the world that knew about it. Obviously not true, but yeah. So I was a fan ever since I was, I don't have many memories before Star Wars, and so I absolutely grew up with it. And then I had the opportunity to do some freelance writing for Star Wars Galaxy magazine in the 90s, and that was that's what got me into kind of the understanding the fan stories, which eventually led to the podcast the way it is today. But yeah, I've been a fan since, like I said, I have very few memories BS before Star Wars.
Well, that's where it's like listening to your podcast, and it's always great hearing you talk to other people. But then like when you hear your stories about how you got to go to I believe it was New York, if I remember correctly, New York City for the episode 1.
Yeah, for the Phantom Menace. Yep, absolutely.
And just hearing your stories like that, because I was, when episode 1 came out, I was in my 20s or 19, whatever it was, 19, 20, and I cared more. I went to go see the movie in the theaters, but there was a lot of other things on my mind than Star Wars. So it was kind of like, as a kid, I loved Star Wars. I was always a Star Wars fan, always getting, you're 16 or 18 years old, they don't know what to get you. It's like, oh, a Star Wars t-shirt or Star Wars boxers or something like that. So, it was enough of a Star Wars thing that everybody knew, get Michael that. But, I wasn't as crazy where I'm going to sit around on a Monday night and talk to somebody. Sometimes it's across the country or across the world, but, just across state lines.
I mean, isn't it amazing? Like, I was thinking about that the other day, just the fact that, here I am, 50 years old. I've been a Star Wars fan since I was 7 years old. And I am still getting this great opportunity to talk to people every day, at least once a week on the podcast version, but every day through Twitter and through conversations like this about something that meant so much to us when we were little kids. And that's pretty wild. I mean, that's pretty amazing that we can still talk about A New Hope like it's a relevant film, and it's 43 years old this year, which is insane. 44 years old this year. That's amazing.
Well, I mean, and we're still finding new things in the movie that we're amazed that how come we never noticed it yet, or we never saw it, especially with the with the internet. I forget what it was, about 6 months ago it came out that all the way in the background, one of the probe droids or whatever, one of the droids turns to the other one when Obi-Wan comes out or something like that. And like you can see him turn to him and, he's like, oh shit, or whatever he says. And it's just like, how did nobody notice that for 20 years?
Right. Right.
Like, and then who noticed it? Like, that's the other thing too. How did you notice it? Were you sit there going frame by frame, looking at each droid just to see if they changed expression or something crazy happened?
I'm so happy people are doing that, because I don't have the time for it. I just love being able to relish in it and enjoy what people find. But you're right. But the other thing is, I was talking about this the other day with somebody about the fact that, a lot of people use the word retcon and they look at it in a bad way. But the reality is, retcon is if it's not changing the story, but making a connection, it just expands and means more. Like who knows what kind of quote unquote retconning and or story expansion we're going to see in the Obi-Wan show. I mean, there's definitely going to be things that background characters and set pieces and a vehicle that goes by that's going to mean something completely different after that show. And I think that's a good thing, and I think that keeps the conversation going, and I don't think it's a bad thing. And again, the only time I have a problem with retconning is when it contradicts a story. But if it's adding to it, bring it on. Give me as much of that as you can.
Yeah, there's. I mean, I get to the point where there's just certain things where, like, let's say, I see you at New York Comic Con, if we have a New York Comic Con this year.
Yep.
And let's say I see you and we're having a conversation about something, and then the next time we talk, you're like, oh yeah, that time with that I was telling you the story, or your story of when you saw the Phantom Menace in New York City, and you told me that story, but then the next time I see you, you're like, oh hey, remember when I told you that story? Here's something else that I didn't tell you about. And right. It's like, the pizzeria you went to or something like that. I mean, just as an example. And it's like, well, you never told me you went to a pizzeria before. Why are you retconning the story?
Right.
It's just, you're filling in more details. So,
yeah.
And then it's like, there's little things too that it's just so hard where, like, for example, the last season of Clone Wars cartoon.
Yep.
The ending's a little bit different than in the Ahsoka novel. But it's not too terribly different, it's so the helmet's left in a different way, or the grave looks a little bit different.
Yep.
But it's like that, then you can always got that card in your back pocket. Well, from a certain point of view,
right.
Was it a omniscient figure telling the story, or was it Ahsoka telling the story? Which exactly. One, is it a memory? So, just as long as it doesn't turn out that Luke and Leia aren't brother and sister anymore.
Right. Yeah. If they were to go back and say that, Ahsoka, killed Rex or something, that would, obviously, something bizarre like that. Yeah, I agree. But again, yeah, it is, and that's the whole thing, even with Legends, right? A lot of people were not happy that Legends became Legends, but the stories aren't that terribly different. It's just, and I hate to say that, but it is true. It's a certain point of view. It's a different story from a gigantic universe. I mean, you and I could see the same thing happen on the street corner, and we would tell the story two different ways. It's just the matter of the way the world.
Yeah, and I mean, or you're going to tell the story differently, when you tell it a few more times, or after a little bit of time has passed.
Yep.
Or anything like that.
Yep.
So do you have anything up and coming for the podcast?
Yeah, it's funny. I've been really fortunate in that. So I just recently I've changed the focus of the show to be more focused back to where I started, more focused on the audio, the podcast version of it. I tried to get involved in a lot of the video stuff, but I can't compete with people like you, man. I can't do a live show every week. That's difficult to do. So what I've done is I've made the show, basically it's still focused on a podcast, and I'm playing in the Patreon world a little bit and making the interviews available live to the patrons as they happen. They can be part of the conversation, but on the show, I have some really interesting guests coming up. I have Jason Fry coming up this week. He was on the show literally 2 years ago, and he's back. He's got his new Clone Wars encyclopedia out, which we're going to talk a bit about, I'm sure. I have the following week, I have Eric Walker, who is played Mace in the Ewok series, or the Ewok movies, just to kind of get his perspective. And then actually the very next day, Scott Chernoff, who is a friend of mine from Star Wars Insider, and he's also been involved in BoJack Horseman and Rick and Morty. He and I are just gonna, we're just gonna shoot the breeze talking about the Ewok movies, because they're just so bizarre, and they're like a different type of Star Wars, but they're still Star Wars in a way. So we're gonna have some fun conversation with that. So yeah, those are the next couple of weeks, and it's just been, I've been very lucky. I've gotten some really fun guests, and just keeping going with the same format. It's been the same format for 2 years. It's working for me. So if you haven't heard it in a while, the show hasn't changed, only the guests every week.
Now I know you don't have a lot of time tonight, so I don't want to keep you. If you need to take off.
We've got a couple more minutes. If you want to dig into something, we can probably take another topic if you want to.
Sure. So we touched on it shortly a little while ago. The Bad Batch.
Yeah.
Do you have any expectations or any of the rumors or?
I'll tell you, it's funny. I was just on. I was talking to one of the UK podcasts, and one of the things that I said, and I hadn't thought about it until he asked me, and is that when I first heard about Bad Batch, I was like, really? I mean, I thought it was a fun couple episodes in season 7. I thought they were interesting characters. I thought they were, A-Team in space. But the more and more I think about it, the time frame, this is the first time we're really seeing something between Phantom Menace, or I'm sorry, between Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope. This is a new, very fertile area to play, so I'm excited to see that. And then the other thing is, quite frankly, we all know Dave Filoni has never delivered a show that was what we expected, right? And so if we're going in with this expectation, it's going to be sort of these mercenaries, and it will be without a doubt, because those guys are going to be that. The show is going to go places and build the lore and expand the universe in ways that, as of tonight, before we watch the show, we haven't planned on or haven't thought about. I mean, Rebels is the example I use all the time. I thought it was going to be just this fun little show about some people who joined the Rebels, and it's a little ragtag group of freedom fighters. But it was a Jedi story. It was a story about a father-son relationship, essentially, and decision. And I trust that Filoni is going to make the Bad Batch more than just A-Team in space. So So to answer your question, I've gone from being, sort of like, okay, this should be interesting, to I can't wait to see it. So
it's kind of funny when they give us, or they tell us, it's a story we never asked for, we never wanted it. And then it comes out and it's like everybody thinks about how great it is. Or perfect example, Solo. And Solo definitely underperforms, and we'll never know what the reason is. I think it's a multitude of just little things here and there, or big things all together. But like Solo comes out then, and it's out. We see it in the theaters, and a lot of people are like, "Oh, I'm not going to go see it." And then all of a sudden, it's out on demand. Mm-hmm. You can buy it, and then people are like, "Why didn't you tell me it was so great?" And then the next thing turns around, and Disney Plus has it. Mm-hmm. And it's like, why didn't you tell me this was so great? We've been telling you, but people don't want to listen. So
exactly,
you get into where give me Star Wars, and the old cliche. Well, if it's good, I'm going to like it. They haven't given us anything, really. Well, Filoni wise,
right?
I don't want to get a conversation about movies, because it's like, listen, that's the whole other story in itself. But
but I always do worry. I feel like we're like, when are we going to have that big miss? And that's just me being a little bit paranoid and protective. But at the end of the day, this is that, and that's I'll go there just a little bit. People who don't like one or two of the new sequel films, at the end of the day, you still have so much Star Wars to enjoy. That's fine. And again, I don't expect Filoni to fail. I think this is his medium, and I think this is why he's not doing feature films, is because he tells the story this way. I mean, he did amazing stuff with Clone Wars, with Rebels. I think the fact that he wasn't part of Resistance is one of the reasons why Resistance was met with lukewarm results. And I've never gone off on disliking Resistance, but I would easily put it at the bottom of my list of Star Wars things I like. But I'm not gonna. I'm glad it's there, and I'm glad it's part of the canon, and I'm glad it's something that's available to watch. But it's just not for me.
Yeah, and somebody might like it. It might be someone's favorite, or it might be, a younger generation stepping stone, into Star Wars.
Yeah.
So look at we have a lot of people that we know in the community that were brought in because of the Clone Wars cartoon. Yep. And now are thriving in our community, and helping it grow. and doing just amazing things. And I didn't watch Clone Wars when it first came out.
Neither did I.
It might have been finished before I started watching it.
Yeah.
It was just, okay, cartoon Star Wars. It wasn't my thing. I never even gave it a chance or tried to watch it. It was on Cartoon Network or whatever it was. It was whatever it was on when it came out.
Yeah, I think it was Cartoon Network when it first hit. Yeah.
I didn't have, and they kept changing times around and everything. It's like, it's too much of a headache, and just forgot about it. And now it's like, it's amazing. It makes the movie so much better.
Yeah.
And just the things that where they can go. Then like with the Mandalorian, where's the Mandalorian going to go? And now it's got these other shows spinning off of it. Which is still every day it's a different story about what's happening, or we're gonna find when we get it. We're gonna find out. It doesn't really, I don't know. To me, it doesn't really matter. It does to a point, but whether it's Cara Dune story or rumors that now it's going to be turned into Hera because of the Cara Dune controversies, and now supposedly Gina Carano's back, and it's like who do you really listen to, because is it who's telling the story? Are they a reliable source or not?
Right.
And then of course factions are just going to run with a story if it suits their agenda or whatever. It's just it's really hard to tell unless something's officially announced.
100%. Yep. Cool.
All right. Well, Pete, thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
Giving us this time. We have some good old friends in the chat hanging out with us.
RFB, I have not seen you in a long time. Good to see you here. This is cool. And Chris King, I haven't seen you in a while. How are you? And of course, Charlie Skywalker. Good to see him. And Mr. Rez. A couple other people in there too that I probably missed. But
Chris King's trolling us. He wants to know where my TooMedToo's thermos is. Well, you know what? That can be arranged. And now he's trolling you. He wants to know when I'm going to be on the Blast Doors network. And now Chris is saying hi to you. And of course, before we go, we need to say, make Solo 2 happen.
Make Solo 2 happen.
I still really feel that they're going to do it as a Disney Plus, the way that Netflix did the Marvel series, and do kind of like a few different little shows and have them leading up to one big one, because you can get a lot of content out of that and string that along for a couple of years and make people do it. If you do the Chewie and Han thing, and I was going to say Cara Dune, but just everything that they're going to do, and all the different possibilities to get it going.
Yeah, no, I think that that's probably a better way to do it. And I think if they decide to continue down the road of the anthology movies, it probably would have been a handful of films, and it's probably going to be better if they do it over multiple series and multiple seasons and just tell a better, more integrated story. You have everything from Maul and Kira, and you have the Cloud Riders, and you have so many different story avenues to get at. I think it makes sense to do it through Disney Plus.
Yep, definitely. Well, Pete, I will definitely talk to you soon.
Absolutely.
And if we do have a New York Comic Con this year, will you be attending?
If we have one, I will be there. Yes, that's the plan. So you and I will have to get together and actually meet in person for once. That would be fantastic.
We missed each other. We missed each other
last time. We missed it. That's right. But not this time. We'll make it this time.
We're gonna have it done. All right. And
Awesome,
you never know who's gonna come into town to visit for it too. So we can always have a big old party sometime.
I would love that. I think that'd be great. So,
all right,
cool. Well, cool, man. Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
All right, and I will talk to you soon.
Talk to you soon. See ya.
All right, and that was Pete Feltzer from Around the Galaxy podcast. So, guys, yeah, I know a couple of people have found me over on Live It. That's where I'm streaming every day. Every day this month, I'm doing some Star Wars stuff. I was doing Star Wars virtual reality pinball. We're probably going to try and fit in a day where we can do Vader Immortal, maybe even tomorrow. It all depends on how work and life goes. If not, I am doing a watch along of all the movies in the Star Wars series. I shouldn't say all the movies because we're not doing like the Clone Wars cartoon movie, but it's going to be myself and a few other streamers over on Live It. On Sundays in May, we're going to do the original. I'm sorry, we're going to do the prequel trilogy, the standalones, the original trilogy, the sequel trilogy. And that will round out our 4 Sundays that we have left in May. But of course, we know what happens now with this part of the show. I need someone to ask the question. Someone ask the question. We got it right here. We got one of them right here. Nobody's asking the question. There we go. DJ coming in. What's in the box? Guys, do you like my office? I, did a little bit of remodeling. So, all right. Let's see. Oh, we got a couple things in here. Here, it's kind of hard to tell with the green screen, but the illustrated Star Wars universe. Ralph McQuarrie art. Just show you really quick. And guys, we're working on something different too. We're gonna try and bring back a little bit of stuff on YouTube for our friends, or especially our patrons and our Patreon. We have now a second camera, so you can actually, see my 4 hands working it out. But here, like concept art, Hoth. I know it's kind of hard to see right now. Well, we obviously went past Hoth, and we went right into there. But let's see what we got right in the beginning here. Tatooine. Just looking really quick. Trying to find something that. Here we go. Concept art, Jabba's Palace, or something like that. But that's not it. Yeah, you guys, we have tons of books. We're going to try and get back into doing some of these books and doing some stuff. But we did also pick up. Pete mentioned this right before, or right when the show was starting. DJ wants some of this stuff sent to him, but we have the Clone Wars character encyclopedia, Join the Battle. I already have, I think there's another Clone Wars encyclopedia and like 2 more character guides, but the later on that they come out, the more in depth they usually get. This one's don't seem to be too big, but there you go. You got General Grievous right there. It's kind of hard to see that. Of course, the perfect one that you can't see. That does kind of look kind of cool though. But it gives his timeline, where he commands the malevolence. In 22, and then in 19, he's killed by Obi-Wan. So, but we got Malaris Townsend and Savage Opress. Here we got the commanders right here to go along with some of the Black series that we have. Boom, there you go. 21B series surgical droid. Of course, we got to talk about him. Yeah, it just says that they're pretty much the best thing there is out there. But yeah, we're going to take a look at this. We're going to go through this sometime too. Well, here we go. We need another one of these. We need another one of these. We already got one. What's in the box? So. Okay. It's a nice little start to what we got. Only two of them so far. Hey, Stormy, how are you doing? I have no idea what that says. Hope, hype, something I don't know. Wait, I thought that was done. Is there more in here? No, whoa. We almost threw this one out too, guys. Always check, guys. Here we go. Boom. We have. It looks. I'm going to turn off this. I'm going to turn off the green screen for a second, just so you can see how we look here. Green screen, none. Dark Phoenicia, I showed your comment on screen while I was doing my interview. So that's why. Dark Phoenicia, hi. Thank you for coming. We got this guy. We got Emperor Palpatine right here doing his thing, right? We have Rey with the two blue lightsabers. Okay. DJ, thanks for stopping by, man. We'll be in touch. You know, I'm gonna try and get a little bit of time. Make sure we get some Star Wars YouTube time in to visit with some of our friends again that I haven't seen in a while. And Jovi's getting really fancy here. I don't even know what this stuff is. She is my angel. There you go. And you know, she loves me. But then we got Rey with the yellow saber here. So yeah, like I was talking to Pete, you know, do I want to stay with Black Series? Do I want to stay with Funkos? I've been getting a lot of the Funkos because I'd rather get them and, you know, decide I don't want to have them and not have to worry about getting them. But, you know, it's like I showed earlier. We got, you know, that Boba Fett concept one. And there's Darth Revan. So some of those are pretty cool. You know, I'm going to keep those. But I have quite a few other ones that, you know, I got. And I don't know if I ever will use, but I feel bad. It's like, you know, like I'm just trying to think of one of them off the top of my head. Like from something from one of the newer movies. You know, do I need a Janna? You know, maybe they're going to give us. You know, I'm holding on to it, thinking maybe they're going to give us some Janna story later on. You know, or just some of the other characters. Lieutenant Connex. She was a cool character, but she really didn't do much. Are we going to get more of a story from her later on that's going to make me want to keep this pop? So they're just kind of stored away. So we'll have to see what happens with a lot of them. But it's also trying to now I have a little bit more room because I have the office, but everything is a compromise. So that's kind of where it goes to. Stormy was trying to host from. Oh, bring me on to the Livet. Yeah, and actually, I haven't done one of these. Since I was saying, a couple people messaged me and said, "Hey, we haven't seen you in a while. What's going on?" It's, just on vacation. We'll put this up on here too for anybody that's left or anybody catching it later on. But yeah, that's what we got. There is going to be in the near future. I got a lot of stuff that came in that I haven't shown. Pretty much if it's a Funko or a Black Series character, there is a really good chance I've picked it up or will be or in the process or whatever it is. So I guess that's going to do it for today. It is it's the May 3rd, so May the 4th is going to be tomorrow. I'm going to hop on, get off over here, do a couple things, hop on over on the Livet, try and do something for a little while that's at least Star Wars related, and catch Clone Wars tonight. Don't know if I'm going to watch it right at 3 a.m. when it comes out. All depends on what happens in my world, because I have to be up at 5. I have to be up at 5 for work, and leave the house at 5:30. So does that mean I get up at 4:30, or does that mean I just go to bed early and get up at 3 and watch it? I've been doing a lot of go to sleep with the West Coast, but still waking up with the East Coast. But I want to thank everybody for stopping by. It was a great show tonight, a little shorter than normal, but listen, we gotta do what we gotta do. If we're, we might actually do some. I have some guests lined up that I can't do on Monday nights, or trying to fit it in. Trying to fit it in. But anyways, we will try and if I have to do an interview on a Saturday or talk to somebody on a Saturday, I might do it live over on Livet. That's where people can find me, or keep it open for the patrons over on the Patreon page, and then we'll just premiere it on a Monday night, depending on what it is, or just play it for you. For a little PIP action. So everybody that was here, I want to thank you for stopping by, and go check me out on Livet. That's where you're going to find me pretty much 7 days a week. Stormy loves pimping. He's a big pimp over there in the UK. You go over London way, and you're like, oh, I know Stormy. They're like, ooh, Stormy, okay. And, then all of a sudden you got all this cred, all this street cred coming in. All right. With that, have a good day. May the force be with you. Always.